Okay, everyone, so we have another video from WrestleMania. This one talking about 10 former WWE wrestlers you shockingly won't recognize today. Now, if you've been a fan of professional wrestling for years, then you'll probably have had to say goodbye to a lot of wrestlers that you really enjoyed watching. You know, eventually there always comes a time when this wrestler just leaves. And you always end up asking yourself this question of, okay, well, why did they leave? I mean, is it because uh, because the reasons for them leaving depends. I mean, did they leave because, they just got old and it was their time to retire? Did they leave because they sustained an injury that basically caused them to have to leave and just they can't wrestle anymore? Because if they do, then they'll risk getting another injury that could permanently damage them. It could leave them paralyzed, or worst case scenario, it could end them. It depends. It's different for each wrestler. Maybe they just weren't happy with the company and they just wanted to leave. I know that's been happening a lot lately with the WWE. A lot of wrestlers are either leaving or they're being released, and they go to one of the other companies, either Impact, Ring of Honor, or probably most prominently they go to AEW. I mean, a lot of wrestlers in AEW used to work at the WWE. They just weren't happy there and they just decided to leave. They went to AEW and they're a lot happier. They're being treated a lot better. So let's go ahead and watch this video and find out 10 wrestlers who we apparently won't recognize today from how they used to be.
And when a superstar leaves WWE, they'll sometimes fall out of the limelight completely, or when they resurface, they can on occasion look so different that fans don't even recognize them. But which wrestlers are they?
In 1996, she was named AOL's most downloaded woman. Tonight, she's locked in a cell without bond and is due back in court tomorrow.
Well, join us now as WrestleMania looks at 10 former WWE wrestlers who look unrecognizable today.
Oh, wait, yeah. Sorry guys, you know the drill. Music, can't afford it. Can't afford the risk.
Subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Number 10, Adam Rose. Adam Rose never reached his true potential in the WWE.
Yeah, there's some music. Better not raise the volume.
His gimmick of being the life of the party was over. It certainly had a shelf life. This would explain why Rose was released from the company back in 2016. Following his WWE release, the former leader of the Exotic Express drastically altered his look. Rose had put on 80 pounds of muscle and now had the physique of a bodybuilder. Taking to Instagram in 2019, Rose shared an image of his new look and shared some insight into how his new look came about. He revealed, "My weight as Adam was around 201 pounds. Unfortunately, as everyone now knows, while in the WWE, I developed a drug addiction, which led to me losing considerable weight and getting sick. At my worst, I weighed in at 176 pounds in the WWE. I was living on a smoothie a day and barely ate. After a long stint in rehab, thanks to the WWE, I was able to clean up and get my life back together.
Okay, well that's good.
258 pounds and feel good. I
Good.
religiously and eat food again. Probably too much food, but I enjoy it. So
well, yeah, as long as he's happy.
And on a much better track, thank you.
Because it's party time all the time.
Number 9, Charlie Haas.
I remember Charlie Haas.
2020 fans were taken aback due to how different the
Yep.
former tag team champion
Yeah,
looked.
definitely a
He shaved
difference.
his head and he lost a ton of
Yeah,
muscle
especially
mass.
one in
Haas
particular.
recently revealed that he'd been going through a rough patch in his life.
Yeah, he probably lost all that muscle mass because he wasn't doing the you know what.
But Haas noted that he's getting his life back on track.
Excuse me.
He revealed that he's currently teaching amateur wrestling and hopefully his new profession brings him joy.
Wrestling the way I did when I was in college. So in order for
Or
me to
maybe
do
the guy
that,
just stopped
I had
working
to-
out, I don't
so
know.
I'm about 215 right now.
Number 8, Ahmed Johnson. Ahmed Johnson, during his time in the WWE, had one of the best physiques on the entire roster. However, when Johnson decided to retire from pro wrestling, he appeared to stop working out altogether. Recent images of Johnson appearing at wrestling conventions shows a virtually unrecognizable wrestler looking a lot heavier.
Look at the size of this guy.
This guy was jacked.
According to the fans and those who were in WCW with Johnson between 1999 and 2000, Johnson began to let his physique slip during this time. so much so that it was believed that Johnson was released from WCW due to his substantial weight gain. Number 7, Kurgan.
Well, I just want to ask the question that's like, well, what actually happened? I mean, did he put on the weight because he just got tired of working out? Like, was the pressure of having to constantly keep up that physique just getting to him, and he just realized, you know what, this just isn't worth it, and he was still working out, just not as much as he used to, and you started to see the difference. It became noticeable that he wasn't working out as much. And when it comes to his release from the WWE, I mean, did he ask for the release, or is it true that WWE released him because he just wasn't as jacked as he used to be? So I don't know. It's just, you know, if you know, let me know in the comments if you know what happened.
Weight gain. Number 7, Kurgan. The nearly 7-foot tall Kurgan is often cited as one of the forgotten stars of WWE's beloved Attitude Era. Kurgan was a key member of the Oddities, a stable of wrestling misfits who sadly were overshadowed by the incredible roster of the Attitude Era.
From there, really, it gives me a lot of opportunities and stuff to open doors for other venues. But I was never really intended to be in the movies, really.
So I didn't know he was in the WWE. Obviously, I recognize him. I know him from the movie Sherlock Holmes, but I didn't know he was a wrestler. I didn't know he started off in the WWE, and then he moved to Hollywood. Apparently, him along with a lot of other WWE wrestlers moved to Hollywood.
Since Kurgan's departure from the wrestling,
Yeah, I know him from the movie. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Look to match his new profession. Kurgan has appeared in the hit movies such as 300, Pacific Rim, and even Deadpool 2. Kurgan has aged incredibly well and still looks to be in tremendous shape. He's dyed his hair blonde and dyed his facial hair black. Although he looks extremely different to how he looked during his days in the squared circle, his new look is clearly landing the former Oddity member a ton of gigs in Hollywood.
Yeah, I mean,
6, Midian. The former WWE European Champion decided to completely change his look and profession following his retirement from wrestling in 2006.
Oh my God, I can feel it. Can you feel him, honey? Can you feel him? Like, what are you talking about?
Midian, who was a prominent part of the Ministry of Darkness stable during the Attitude Era, now works as a chef. According to a number of former WWE talent, Midian is rather successful in his newfound profession. He also changed his look completely to how he looked during his time in the WWE. Over there he had long hair and was relatively skinny. Now he's bald and looks a lot heavier since swapping the WWE ring for the kitchen. Number 5, Bull Nakano. Bull Nakano is considered by many to be one of the most influential women wrestlers of all time. But one of the reasons that Nakano was so memorable was because her look stood out when in comparison to everyone else. Nakano had gigantic and colorful hair. She also had signature markings on her face. But these days, Nakano has her hair in a rather traditional hairstyle, and when she appeared at events across the world, fans struggled to recognize the former WWE Women's Champion. Number 4, Spike Dudley.
I remember him seeing, or excuse me, I remember seeing him every now and then, but to be honest, the guy never really made much of an impression on me.
Tag team titles. When Spike was released in 2005, he spent more time in TNA and on the independent scene before officially retiring in 2015. Spike has been out of the public limelight for some time now. When he resurfaced on the WWE digital
shit.
fans were taken aback at Spike's new appearance.
Yeah, he looks way different.
Snitsky.
Well, maybe not way different.
Snitsky is most well known by fans for his work during the Ruthless Aggression era in WWE. Snitsky had a rather infamous feud with Kane, but following that feud, Snitsky was turned into somewhat of a novelty act in WWE. He went through 2 signature looks during his time in the company, one which involved Snitsky having slick back hair with a goatee. His second look involved him shaving everything off and using special dye on his teeth, so his teeth appeared yellow and grotesque. Since his WWE days, Snitsky has put on a ton of muscle mass, and in recent photos, the former WWE star looks to be in the best shape of his life.
Yeah, he
Snitsky
looks
kept his
good.
head shaved, but has also grown out his beard to a rather extreme length. Number 2, Tyler Rex. Tyler Rex was only in the WWE for a short time. He never really managed to find his place in WWE. Although his tag
I
team
mean, he
career
looks
is had
familiar. I think I remember seeing him once, you know, back during the back before they changed the logo and everything. But He's like Spike Dudley, another wrestler that didn't really make an impression on me, so I guess I just kind of forgot about him.
Potential, WWE never seemed to do anything in Rex that warranted a major push. Rex had a great look. He was tall, and the dreadlocks certainly made him unique, but it simply wasn't enough to make him stand out on an already stacked roster. Since his WWE departure, Rex's personal life has dramatically changed.
When I was Gabby, that was
Oh shit.
and taking off the wig, the makeup was the show.
In January of 2021, Rex came out as a trans woman and now goes under the name of Gabby Tuft. Gabby had gender reassignment surgery and now looks completely different to when he was in his WWE days. And number one, Vladimir Kozlov.
Damn.
In 2008, Vladimir Kozlov received a huge
Oh, okay, no, this guy I do remember. This one I do remember. I remember when they were pushing Vladimir Kozlov hard, like they had him go on this just undefeated streak. They built him as this unbeatable wrestler. And after a while, they, I didn't notice it at the time, but looking back, it felt like they probably didn't really know what to do with him. And they just kept changing his gimmick every now and then. He started off as this unbeatable wrestler, then he was part of some tag team with another guy whose name I can't remember, and then yeah, I kind of just forgot about him after a while.
WWE. He was booked in a huge WWE title feud with Triple H, and at one stage it was rumored that he was going to win the title. Although Kozlov's push didn't last long, fans have positive memories of the former superstar, that in relation to his tag team with Santino Marella.
I like this look. Here's for movie. It's total different character.
Since being released from the WWE, Kozlov has had some huge opportunities in Hollywood. These have included stunt roles in both Fast and Furious 6 and John Wick 2. Now, the WWE BT Sport Instagram account posted a picture of Kozlov at the start of 2021.
Oh shit, that was him?
How different the former tag team champion looked. He now sports a thick black
Honestly,
beard.
I didn't even recognize him.
In fact, fans were so confused at Kozlov's dramatic transformation that they asked if the photo was photoshopped, but it was indeed genuine. But there you have it, folks, 10 former WWE wrestlers who look unrecognizable today. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.
So yeah, again, it's always interesting to see where wrestlers' lives are now compared to where they were in the WWE. And I also don't think it's a bit of a coincidence that a lot of them are happier after leaving, because, well, I guess it's not necessarily just the WWE. I think it's the same with just professional wrestling in general. There's always going to come a time where the pressure is going to get to you and it's going to affect you. So I wouldn't necessarily say it's the WWE alone, but it is interesting how most of these, or how do I say it? It is interesting how it's mostly the WWE. Whenever you hear these stories, it's always this wrestler used to be in the WWE. They weren't really happy, and then when they left the WWE, they were a lot happier. I don't think that's a coincidence, because I think that there have been a lot of stories about wrestlers who, after leaving the WWE, where they would do interviews and they would talk about how, they weren't really all that happy, and you notice that they are way, way happier after leaving. I don't think that's a bit of a coincidence. But anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Remember to leave a like, share the video, subscribe if you haven't. Check the description for a link to this video as well as the WrestleLamia channel. Go over there, subscribe, watch their other videos, support them, and join me for my next reaction. Bye for now.